Stir Crazy Productions, baby.
What's good? Matthew Shack from Stir Crazy Productions. You know what it is. It's Motivation Monday, man. It's like this, you know what I'm saying? We're just chilling. See the TV in the background. I ain't even bother to cut it off, man, because it's not gonna matter based on what I'm going to ready to tell you guys about today's topic. And today's topic is, by the time a fool learns the game is already over. By the time a fool learns the game is already over. Now, being a fool is a relative term. You know, some people would just say it's a mistake. And other people would say that you're being hard because you don't have all the information in front of you. But sometimes being a fool just means not going with what you know you should be doing. I think there's a difference between being dumb and being stupid. And being dumb just means you don't know any better. Being stupid means that you knew better and you didn't do it. Being foolish means, you just went to sleep brain-wise. Like your brain just took a nap at the wrong time. That's just foolish. Like, you know better. You should really have did what it was that you knew you should be doing, But anyway, I'm not going to mince any words. I'm just going to get to it and get to the story that goes along with this. Matter of fact, I might even go ahead and do two stories. First story is about a record company executive back in the early 60s, around 1961, was told about this band, and he went to go take a look at them because he heard that they were good. And he went and listened to them, and he thought they were good. He thought they were pretty good and whatnot. And so the company he worked for was Decca Records. And any of you, music historians out there or record vinyl buffs like myself would be familiar with Decca Records. It's a European labels out of London. And they checked this band out, and the guy's name was Mike Smith, who went to go see this band, and he said, man, these guys are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of digging them. So he went back to the corporate offices and hooked up with a guy named Digalow. And he went and checked them out and heard the music and whatnot. And they waited, the band waited for weeks to hear back. The manager waited for weeks to hear back from the record label. They were really excited that they were going to have an opportunity to possibly be signed, because it seemed like, a foregone conclusion that they were good enough. And, when the band's manager finally got in contact with Mr. Lowe, he said in no uncertain terms, using what I just said previous, not to mince any words with you, Mr. Epstein, but the music that I'm hearing is sounding kind of dated. Guitar bands are not hot, and they're played out. They're not going to sell anymore. So we didn't go ahead and respectfully pass on signing your group. So that was kind of a disappointment. But when you're good, you're good. And by the time a fool learns the game is already over. EMI went ahead and picked up this group. And in 1962, next thing you know, they're the biggest band in the world. And if you haven't figured it out by now, the name of that group is the Beatles. And between 1962 and 1967, the band generated $38 million in 1967 money, which would equate to $270 million in today's money. So it just goes to show you, you know, if anything, Mike Smith should have been like, hey, Dick Lowe isn't feeling this band. I need to take this band somewhere else and get them signed. But by the time a fool learns the game is over. And EMI, Capitol, Apple Records went on to have the two most successful songwriters in history, along with the greatest four-piece band of all time. So that's one case. Another case is a previous subject for Motivation Monday, Steven Spielberg, a movie that I had talked about earlier called E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. So what happened with that was they were very interested in using M&Ms for a scene in the movie when E.T. was being led into the house by candy. So they, of course, what's the number one small chocolate candy out there? It's M&M. So they hit up Mars Corporation, they hit up the Mars brothers, and told them, look, you know, we like to be able to, you know, use M&Ms, you know, in this movie. It's big budget, and you know, product placement, something that's been done countless times, and use your product, and in turn, you know, it would be free promotion for you guys, and we would do a cross promotion where you guys would, you know, promote our film. M&M's just straight out said, nope. They ain't look at nothing. They didn't check the film out. They didn't try to do any, you know, market research, anything. They just said no, you know, straight up. So they weren't going to get rid of that scene. So what they decided to do was go ahead and talk to their competitor, which is Hershey, and say, you know what, we're looking for a particular candy that can be used in the scene, and, you know, gave them the same deal. And of course, you know, Hershey, trying to launch a product, was down to do it. And what they wound up using was a new product called Reese's Pieces. So they used it in the movie, and within 2 weeks, the product just started moving out of the stores because kids were like, hey, E.T.'s eating, these are the cool candies. So next thing you know, they started eating up market share, and Reese's Pieces became the Reese's Pieces that you know today, all on the basis of that. And the head of Hershey was like, we got about $15 to $20 million off of this advertising for this movie, based on us making a proper decision. Did M&M's, did it hurt their market share? A little bit. They're still the leaders. But without question, that was an iconic movie and an iconic scene that they could have really kept Hershey down with that. So like I've been saying, by the time a fool learns the game is over. You know, you don't want to be the fool that learns too late. You want to be the fool that learns early if you're going to be a fool.
Stir Crazy Productions, baby.